Women Who Own It podcast spotlights women business owners who are pioneers in their field, setting trends, blazing trails, and creating game-changing innovations. Brought to you by WeBank, the largest certifier of women-owned businesses in the U.S. and a leading advocate for women business owners and entrepreneurs. And me, Allison Maslin. I've been a business owner for the last 35 years. I'm the Wall Street Journal best-selling author of the book Scale or Fail. So join our bold community of women who built it, grew it, and own it. I'll see you on the show. Welcome to the Women Who Own It podcast, brought to you by WeBank, the largest certifier of women-owned businesses. This show is for women business leaders by women business leaders. And I'm your host, Allison Maslin, founder of Pinnacle Global Network, where we mentor business owners around the world to scale their companies. And I'm so excited today. I have a superstar entrepreneur, Savannah Mitchell. I want to tell you a little bit about her because her story is incredible. Savannah Mitchell received her education at Howard University, majoring in business administration with a focus in hospitality management. And while at Howard, she interned at the full-service hotel owned by the university called Howard Inn. And shortly thereafter, Savannah started her own catering and event planning company and dove into the deep end of entrepreneurship. She won dozens of small contracts, and then she opened a small delicatessen where she served gourmet soups, sandwiches, coffee, and desserts part-time, and while she was working a full-time job. And after years of traveling across the world, searching for the most premium, sustainable coffee bean farmers, she discovered a fair trade roaster that aligned with Savannah's integrity and values in providing a superior product with exceptional service. So in 2020, she received a call from her employer that her job had been abolished. So Savannah kicked into full gear and opened her own coffee company. And less than 9 months later, Sunday Morning Coffee became WeBank certified, MBE, and DBE. And the brand has successfully launched onto Amazon, Walmart, Wegmans, and Staples. Additionally, you're going to find Sunday Morning Coffee being served in boutique hotels and restaurants throughout the metropolitan areas of Washington, D.C. Savannah is now focused on increasing Sunday Morning's retail footprint through product expansion and multiple brick and mortar locations. Wow. What a great story, Savannah. Super inspiring and excited to have you here on Women Who Own It.
Thank you so much, Allison, for that amazing introduction and for this opportunity to really grace this amazing platform through WeBank. I'm super excited about this interview.
Well, great. So let's dive in. I want to learn more about your journey and your lessons along the way for all of our business owners that are listening today. Now, you went from the hotel hospitality business to opening a delicatessen to opening a coffee company. You know, part of that, while you had a full-time job, you've got direct to consumer, you've got wholesale to retail, you know, a lot is there to unpack. So what have been some of your biggest lessons, would you say, in the hospitality business and the restaurant business that helped you to launch Sunday Morning Coffee?
Some of the big lessons that maintains my focus is staying true to my core values in hospitality. Is really, really important. That hospitality, the industry, is literally designed to make people feel good. That's what hospitality is all about. Think of all the celebrations that you experience. Think of all of the occasions that are special to you. A hospitality component is essential for that experience to become memorable. And so that is what creates the core values, is to understanding in all of the different spaces, whether it's a hotel, restaurant, a deli, or an online e-commerce business, you have to always keep in front of you that that individual customer is to feel incredibly special for you to really transmit the message.
Right. And so you've really, I mean, it was like the perfect background to get into what you're doing now with Sunday morning coffee, because that's what you're doing, right? You're helping people feel good and start out their day in a great way.
Absolutely, with a commodity that is really essential for a lot of people to even get started. Coffee is not just a black liquid. I mean, it is literally for a lot of people, 79% of all Americans begin every day with a cup of coffee at home. That's 79% daily. So
Amazing.
that's how essential coffee is. And because of that, it was really super important for us to make sure that we are producing a quality brand since so many people depend on it.
I love it. I love it. Now, you were on a massive quest for years. You spent much of the last 25 years studying, discovering, testing, roasting, tasting coffees from all over the world, which sounds so much fun. Can you tell us about this journey and quest for the best coffee?
Absolutely. So, looking for anytime you're looking for the best, you have to be prepared for it to pop up in the most inconspicuous places. So oftentimes when we're on family vacations, the children are with us and they're thinking we're just having a good dining experience where in reality, mommy is on the side peeping out, okay, let's make sure we find out what the coffee in this little small shop tastes like in this far end of the region in, let's say, Jamaica. So we would visit every corner of the globe. We'd always make sure that we visited coffee shops. If they had local coffee roasters, we would visit the coffee farmers to see what those beans were like in each of the region and also to understand the process. So when it reaches your cup, there's a journey and there's a story there. And I wanted to be sure that my coffee told a very authentic and very warm story so that you could feel good about not just purchasing the Sunday morning coffee, but knowing that you're impacting generations of those who've built their livelihoods on this wonderful coffee bean.
Yeah. Now, you have said there are over 25 million families globally that rely on their coffee farms to survive. I mean, that's incredible. And it is a journey. And when we're drinking our coffee, we're not often thinking about the journey. Like we're thinking like, I need this cup of coffee or I want this cup of coffee and oh, it tastes good. But we're not really thinking about the source so much. Can you
Correct.
speak to that a little bit and, how important that is? And, I would love your take on that.
Absolutely. When we take an origin trip, which is a trip to one of the regions of the world where our coffee beans are sourced from, we're going to the actual coffee bean farms where generations of coffee bean farmers, they've owned their land and that is all they know. And they build their homes, their children's educations are built on those coffee bean farms. So we have relationships with our coffee bean farmers and to make sure it's a humane and dignified profession. That was important to us, not just the quality of the beans, but it was important to us that we understood those who were handling the beans, how they were being treated and being compensated. So that's why the passion starts from the soil. It really does, to make sure that we're being responsible and helping to contribute to keep the integrity and dignity into this amazing profession of coffee bean farming.
Yeah, that's so great. And, you can feel really good when you're drinking Sunday morning coffee that from the very inception that it is done for good in an integrous way. So I love that. I think people are really looking for that. I think that people want to feel good about not just the merchants, but, the source of where everything comes from. I think that's where we're moving towards.
Absolutely, and rightfully so. We all have taken an increased interest in understanding the sources of all of the products and services that we're using. And I think it's just being human that we are now concerned with not just the end product, but literally making sure that it's from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I love that. And I read that your vision is to be a cultural coffee experience, providing education, inspiration, and quality moments for new and sophisticated coffee drinkers. What do you mean? Can you just talk a little bit about this, the coffee experience and the culture from a business perspective? And the reason I ask that is that where we're moving to with our products and even in the retail space is people want to be part of an experience rather than just buying things. So how do you create an experience with your brand and your product?
Exactly. It's twofold. One, our beans come from Colombia, Brazil, Guatemala, Honduras, Ethiopia, Cameroon. So in those regions, they naturally have a distinctive taste in each of the coffee beans, which creates your coffee experience in each cup. So depending on the blend that you select, you can literally denote the region of the world by selecting the blend that you would like. So that's one phase that we go through by selecting the different blends in each of our bags. It tells you the notes that's in each of our blends, and also it has a name and there's a story behind each of the name. The second part of that is when you're in your very special place and you're drinking your favorite cup of coffee. That is what we want to recreate whenever you're in a workspace or if you're in a social occasion. In that moment, we want to take you with a great quality cup of coffee to that very special place where you are the only thing that matters.
Mm. I think
Quality 30
people
seconds.
need that right now, right? They
Yeah,
need that. Uh,
yes, yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I love everything that you're up to. And I really am excited for you because your business is like exploded very quickly.
Yeah.
And so I want to kind of shift a little bit to the business side of things for those that are listening and that also have a product they want to bring to market or to expand their market. What do you feel, Savannah, are the most important details that you've learned along the way that one must focus on to become successful and maintain that success with their product?
Um, get accustomed to hearing no. Get accustomed to it.
Mhm.
And no is not personal. No is a temporary condition.
Mm.
Just believe that it is a temporary condition because we take no's as adrenaline. So now we need to go back and either re-strategize. How do we get to a yes? No is never fatal for us. And I think that's really important, especially for women business owners. We have to develop the hide to understand and discern that a no has no impact on who you are and what you are. It's zero impact.
Mm.
Re-strategize and get to the yes.
Wow, that's such powerful advice because so many business owners feel that rejection, you know,
Yeah.
and they do take it personally. And if you just expect it, then you need to figure out. I have a friend that Ariel Ford, and she had a big PR agency back in the day. She used to get a lot of people on Oprah. And she told me one time that whenever she got a no, she just knew that she needed to change her pitch It didn't mean no forever.
There you
It
go.
just meant that she needed to come back with a better positioning. So I love that attitude, and it's such great advice.
Yeah,
Um,
that re-strategizing. That's exactly what she did.
yeah. Now you've talked about the statistics that showed that Black-owned businesses are undercapitalized, underfunded,
Hmm.
and how do you feel women of color starting businesses now at a record rate? Um, what can they do, even though they've been the least funded? What is some advice that you can give to them?
Some best practices is number one, to please align with other Black owned businesses via organizations or industry associations, because collaboratively, the power that is available to help to navigate the very, very stringent funding opportunities for Black women-owned businesses. It's reduced when you're aligned with an organization or association where there's a number of you that's in a similar situation, but now you have buying power and you have negotiating power. And that's what's needed to address the disparities in the funding availability for Black women-owned businesses. So that's absolutely the number one best practice I would offer. The second is to ensure that you don't believe the statistics. They're available, but it's not for you to live by. It's for you to be aware of, not for you to live by, because of the high percentage of Black women-owned businesses that do not get funding. There's that smaller percent that get funding.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I would offer, is to be aware of the statistics, but don't live by it, because someone's the exception. Why not you?
Oh, I love that. I love that. First of all, don't navigate this journey alone. Collaboration is power. And then also, create your own journey, and don't buy into, right. Not that it's not there, it is.
Mhm.
But become that one statistic to make it happen. And you sure are evidence of that. You're in Walmart, Wegmans, Staples. You don't let anything hold you back. Savannah, I love that about you. What have been some of your best strategies to get your products in these massive retail chains?
A couple of strategies. One, becoming WeBank certified and NMSDC certified. Those were the two significant anchors that opened up so many doors for us. In this industry, credentials mean something. And when you're in a competitive environment, coffee is extremely competitive. I have to have differentiators. And those certifications, they create additional differentiations for me. Additionally, organizations such as WeBank, they put you in front of major significant players that those doors would never otherwise have been available to me. So because of my certification, I've been validated by an organization such as WeBank, which then reassures their huge corporate partners, because those huge corporate partners, they're in need of our products and services. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them have commitments to support smaller owned businesses, women owned businesses, Black owned businesses. They have them. So they're going to go to a WeBank initially to see what they can do to also fulfill their needs.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a great opportunity to be partnered with these corporations. And like you said, they want to do businesses. They want to do business with the minority owned businesses. They're committed to doing that. When you were getting into, I imagine it was very exciting when you got the news, yes, that you're going to be in Walmart or Wegmans and things like that. Um, were there any other strategies that you used? I mean, I would imagine lots of follow-up, the way you're positioning yourself. Is there any other insight that you can share with some of the product business owners that are listening?
Absolutely. It doesn't happen in 30 days. So
Yes.
this
Be
game is
patient.
about perseverance. And remember, these are multi-billion-dollar organizations. They are not stopping their operations because a small woman-owned, Black-owned business says, "Hey, I'm available." They're not doing that. So I want to get across two really important points. So perseverance is really important. Go the distance. Those that win in the end are the ones that literally lasted and endured. So you wanted to, and you're looking at anywhere between 3 to 12 months to get into any of these retail shops. And you have to be the one to initiate all of the follow-up, all of the calls to make sure you're delivering. Because again, they would like you, but they don't necessarily need you. Whereas it may be the other way around. I would need an Amazon in order for me to achieve my goals. So be aware of that. The second part of that is once you're in one of or many of the retail shops that you would like to be in, there are no second set of rules because you are a small owned business. So if you get into a major retail shop such as a Walmart, they are going to treat you the same way they treat a Pepsi or a Kellogg's or a Kleenex. There are no second set of rules. So please, and this is one of, I think, my biggest lesson that I had witnessed, that your payment terms take, for instance, you don't get paid immediately or within 30 days. A lot of these are net 90, 120 days, 120 days. Why? Because that's the way the big boys play. So you have to be ready when you get into these big oceans. There's no second set of rules. You have to play like everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, being expecting that so that you're able to cover that float, from the time that you're getting your products manufactured to the time that they're delivered and you get paid. You have to really prepare for that. I think that's great advice. I do have one question about the persistence and about the follow-up. I think a lot of times people know, where's the line between follow up and I'm really becoming a stalker, like where is that? Where is too much? And maybe there isn't too much. So what would you say to that?
That's a great question, first, Allison. Persistence and becoming a stalker. There is, because I would say a lot of the cases are individual, because you may get an email or correspondence back within a couple of weeks. And then it's the same method and rhythm each time you send some type of communication. So if you're getting something back, that's perseverance. That's just the way that other entity is responding to you. So keep with that. Don't steer from that. If it's only one way and you're not getting anything, I wouldn't say to walk away from that company. I would say you probably need a different contact. So never get into the space of being a stalker. Now, maybe you're diverting your communication to another person, because that also could help. Because if two or more individuals at an organization, they're now hearing from you, they're going to stop the pause and say, okay, we need to do something. Either this is an emphatic no, or you know what? We like your style. When are you available for a meeting?
Yeah, I love that. That is such fantastic advice. I know business owners struggle with that so much. What are some of your thoughts regarding competition in your industry? Because obviously there's quite a few coffee brands. What are your thoughts around that?
Number one, we love competition. We love it. Why? Because competition breeds more business. It really does. We want to know what our competitors are doing because they're doing something right because they have an audience. And that audience, we're learning from them. What is it? Their audience may be different from ours. They may be the same, but we learn the most by watching what our competition does. The other part of that is your competition brings awareness to you, whereas if you didn't have the competition, you wouldn't have. So you capitalize on your competition, who also can be your collaborators. You want to be able to have friendly competition. There's enough, America. There's enough for everyone. There's no shortage of consumers. There really isn't. There's no shortage. No matter what product or service you have, there will always be more consumers than what we have to offer. So it is better to really collaborate, reach out to your competitors, make it friendly. They're offering something that's a little different from yours, even if you have the same bake shop. They're doing something a little different because your footprint, your fingerprint, it can't be duplicated. So trust in those small differences to keep you grounded where you're okay to be next to your competitor and you grow together.
Yeah, that's such, I love that abundance mindset. And, I'm good friends with a lot of people in my industry, in the business coaching industry, and we support one another. We share best practices, what's working, what's not working, what's changing in the industry. And I just embrace that. And that's really what WeBank is all about, really, is that collaboration. And I think that when you look at the world that way, you get out of that place of strife and struggle. So that's powerful advice. Let's talk about team for a moment. In Pinnacle Global Network, my company, we help businesses build a team managed company. So the business owner can get out of the weeds of the day-to-day of the business and focus more on the vision of the company, the bigger objectives. And to make a vision happen, it takes, as you know, a team to make it move forward. What have been some of your biggest lessons on building a team? Any advice you can share with our podcast listeners around hiring or team building today?
Yes, as a CEO and founder, my number one responsibilities, I have a couple of them, but the first one is to create a culture and where everyone who's on our team can thrive. Quintessential. That's your responsibility. If you create a culture where people can feel whole, they will perform way beyond your imagination. But you want those who believe in you so much, they look forward to going the distance for you because you created an atmosphere where they can operate freely in their skill sets, in their gifts. That's what you want. These are the most loyal team members. And they get other loyal team members. It just keeps working. So that is the number one advice I would recommend. Ensure that you are creating a culture where people can thrive and they can be happy because it's exponential what you would receive by doing that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So just what are some steps that you've done within your company to give your team members that feeling of, I've got space to thrive, I can bring my best self to the company, I can be passionate and committed? What are some things you've done?
A couple of things. We do weekly team huddles, and our team huddles, we start them off with an inspiration. Each team member will have a chance to create and bring an inspiration. And we end the team huddle with a dead joke. We love corny dad jokes, right? So that's one thing, and they look forward to it. We took a vote one time, should we get rid of it? And hands down, they said, no, let's keep the dad jokes, please. So you want to have buy-in from your team members to make sure it's fun throughout the day. Another thing we do is we have quarterly team trainings in the basics. This is how we keep grounded. Whatever your industry is, you must, if you become great at the basics, then you become a master. So we have quarterly team trainings just to go over the basics. The third thing we do is we have collaborative decision making.
Mm.
It's important that you hear from your team members. How are we doing? What can we do better? What can we do differently? Although you may have individuals that's responsible for those decisions, you got to hear from the whole team. You really do. They see things you don't. And especially being in the C-suite, we're oftentimes jaded because we're making such other high-level decisions, but we're providing products and services to regular people. So we got to make sure that our ear is to our customers, and our team members are usually the ones that get that first. So make sure they understand their value as a team member, and that has to be affirmed from the head of the organization. You have to be the one to show them that they're valued. You have to be the one, and it can't be just once a year. This should be consistently, all of the time. We send out on just on an irregular basis. There's no rhythm. We'll send out these little thank yous that will have a gift card of $10. Get yourself some lunch. Just an email, a random email with nothing specific. Those are things that show the team we're constantly thinking about our team members. We understand, and we thank you for just going the distance without being asked.
Yeah, I love that. That's really powerful. I love that you brought that up about coming to your team for their ideas and their creativity, because I think a lot of times, Savannah, and I know I did in the early days, I felt like I had to come up with all the answers, and it was so much pressure to get it right when there's all these smart people in front of me and they had great ideas, and we can sometimes be that, well, no, that will never work, or we've tried that before. But I think it's a good practice to really listen. You don't take every idea they give you, but a lot of them are fantastic ideas that can really help grow the business. And like you said, makes them feel important and appreciated and valued.
Absolutely. And we all know the benefits of when individuals feel valued. They're committed, they're loyal, they go above and beyond. And that's what you want. This is another extension of a family. So, and that's what you want to make sure that they know, that they're cared for, they're protected, they're provided for.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. In fact, you've inspired me. I'm going to go do some special gift for my team today. Yeah, thanks for that reminder. Now, as a certified women-owned company, we talked about a little bit earlier, but how is anything else you want to share how WeBank has helped you grow your business?
WeBank is continuing education, which is important as a business owner. We never know it all. And you have to stay innovative, and you have to stay nimble, and you have to stay flexible. And WeBank, they are masters at getting the experts in front of us. So that's the other huge component. It's that continuing education to keep you smarter, keep you clearer, fresher. And again, there's so many new things that we could do that's right in front of us, but we don't know, we don't have all the answers. But that's where your resources, such as a WeBank, to get the answers.
Yeah, gosh, the organization is so incredible. I'm so grateful for WeBank, and that's what this show is all about. And so as we wrap up, what's the next big frontier for Sunday morning coffee? And also any advice that you would like to leave with us today?
Yes, the next big frontier is we are about 2 quarters away from our first brick and mortar. Um, Super excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah, this is definitely a significant part of the dream. And so we are watching it become realized. So stay tuned. Real soon, we'll be releasing all the details about that. Also, we've been just extremely, and I use the word blessed very, very intentionally, and that we were able to be aligned and partner with the LPGA, our first professional sports organization, as a partner of the tournament that happened last month, which has brought significant exposure to our brand, and it has opened up several new doors for us, and we're so elated about that. And I wanted to share those two things because I really want you to know, as a small one woman owned company, that you may be doing everything. My company started by me literally emailing all of my friends and asking them to come to my home to taste this coffee that I found. And I wanted to know if they would buy it. That is how I started. And we're talking about less than 24 months ago. So if I can go from an email list of family and friends with a bag of coffee to taste at my home, to being a partner with the LPGA, anything is possible.
Oh my gosh. That gave me chills, Savannah. Seriously, anything is possible. And that's a perfect note to land on to wrap up this episode of Women Who Own It. You're such an inspiration. I'm so excited for you. I want to stay in touch with you as everything unfolds. I know it's all going to be great things. And I look forward to have coffee at a Sunday morning coffee near me,
Yes.
wherever I am. So thank you so much for being on the show today. I really enjoyed it so much.
Thank you, Allison. It was my pleasure. Best success.
Yes. And so I hope you enjoyed this today. If you haven't subscribed to the Women Who Own It podcast, please do share this with your business owner friends. Let them know all about it. And if you want to learn how to scale your company, I actually want to send you a copy of my book, Scale or Fail, for free. We are going to ship you the Wall Street Journal best-selling book, the hardback book. All you need to do is go to scaleorfail.com. That's the name of the book, /WeBank. And we will send it to you as our gift. All right. And so until next time, make decisions from where you're going, not from where you're at. Bye, everybody.